Hey, welcome to training camp, March 2015 in Gran Canaries. Pretty excited about the season 2015 coming up with Team Thule. We're going to be racing in China several times, and thought I'd give a little recap of our last race in China in November of 2014 in Wuhan. In September, Martin Flinta and I raced together in the Tining race, and we came first. And then we returned a couple months later together with Helena from the Czech Republic and Jacob from New Zealand. And we raced as a team of 4 in Wuhan. Together, Jacob, Martin, and Helena and I, we finished 3rd overall, and here comes a short recap. So the race in China involves running, biking, kayaking, and even ropes section. We raced for 3 days in a row. Each day is about 5 to 7 hours. So the running sections are really diverse. Sometimes we're power walking up really steep hills. Other times we're full speed on the asphalt, and then other times it's really technical trails through thick forests, open agricultural landscapes, and rice paddies. It's a really unique backcountry parts of China that most people don't even get to see. One of my favorite parts of the race this year was running through this little tiny village in the middle of nowhere, and there was this guy out grinding corn with this old-fashioned machine, and I would imagine it's the same machine they've been using for 1,000 years. It was really cool to see. One of the things I love about racing in China is you get to run, bike, and paddle through these beautiful national parks without having to pay the entry fee, of course. And oftentimes we're running alongside the other tourists there that are either too busy on their cell phone to enjoy the nature, or snapping pictures of us as we're running full speed by them. The races in China are full speed. Every second counts, and we do everything we can to try to save time. In some parts of the running sections, we pull each other with ropes, and in the transition areas where we're switching from one discipline to another, we help each other change our shoes, whatever it takes to keep the team going as fast as possible. A lot of times during the racing in China, we're out in the middle of nowhere. We're out in the middle of the wilderness, and we don't see many other teams. But then occasionally we'll catch up to a team, or a team will catch up to us, and if we do catch up to a team, it's really important to pass them really fast, because we don't want to give them a chance to hang on, because mentally it's a lot easier to follow a team if you're right on their tail. The multisport races in China are perhaps 90% physical. You really have to be physically well trained. But there's also a lot of mental aspects that come into play during the race. There's orienteering sections, and then there's even little puzzles that we have to put together so we can continue to follow the race course. There's quite a bit of ropes work in the multisport races in China. At the beginning of one of the stages, we were actually rappelling down an ice-cold waterfall. And then at the end of another day, after a long kayak section, 2 of the 4 teammates had to Jumar up a rope to the top of a bridge, and it was quite a race to the finish line on that day, because the top three teams, ourselves included, were in a neck race to the finish line. So after we had climbed the ropes after this kayak section, we had a sprint to the finish, but there was still a team challenge just before we crossed the finish line, where the 4 of us had to get over a 3-meter wall without using ropes. We were exhausted after three full days of racing. But this required a lot of focus and concentration, and we actually managed to get over there really fast, a lot faster than some of the other teams. But when we came into the finish line afterwards, we were all smoked. So Martin, Jacob, Helena, and I will be returning to China in April. At the very end of the month, we'll be racing in a 4-day stage race in the Hubei province. It's in southern and southeast China. Really warm tropical climate. It'll be up to 35 degrees Celsius every day. The 4-day stage race involves 2 nights camping out in the wilderness. It's going to be a really tough race. Some of the best teams from New Zealand, US, Australia, Europe are all going to be there. But Team Thule is going to put in their best effort.